I wanted to talk about this special technique I came up with that I'm calling Tailfire. So it's really cool because you trigger something on the tail to make a massive attack, and one of the big benefits of it is the amount of power you can get in your attack is so high, where it's like you could pop so much at once, where it's like you're beating 5 and 6 chains even. So it's like there's so much potential power that you can get if you get the right colors and can put them all together. But it's also like not too committal because you can still build like a regular main chain. So for example, in this case, you could do this and you still have ways to tell. So you could do the green or you could do the blues or the yellows next. All of those would work. So you have that flexibility, and then you have a pretty clean chain. So it's like very simple. But and another benefit is that you can keep the trigger like available for a really long time. So if you do a normal like attack on the transition, kind of like this, you'll usually end up having to cover it up or convert out of it pretty quickly because you'll run out of space to put pieces. So like you can try to build on the tail if you get the right colors for that. So if you get the colors, you could do this while keeping your attack open. But now you're like pretty much out of space, so you can try to build up here, but pretty soon you're gonna have to put something here and block it off and keep building, and then you don't have your attack anymore. But with this type of attack, so let's say you have this much, you can build all over here for like as long as you need, kind of. So you have a lot of um, room to put pieces effectively that actually help you build a chain. So you're not like throwing them away. You're still building your chain to where you could trigger it like this. But all the while, like while you're doing that, you're keeping this trigger open. So anytime you draw a yellow, you can look to just send a massive attack out of nowhere. And so the opponent has to like always be ready to um, beat the massive attack that you can send, but you can like keep on building your own chain like this for a really long time without covering up your attack. But then if you do that though, then you start to get really color restricted at the very end of your chain because it's like now you have to complete your tell and you have to get the colors to complete your tell. So if you don't get the right colors, you can't complete your tell correctly. But if you do get the right colors, you can build a really nice chain, even though you had a really big attack the whole round too. So I think it has a lot of potential because it doesn't really hurt your maximum ch- chain size that much. Because something like this um, just converts into a normal chain like this. So you have the potential to build a really big chain still. And then it's also harder to see if you aren't used to looking for it because it looks like you don't have any good attacks going. It looks like you could build something defensive pretty easily like this. So you could like build a 4 chain pretty easily, but it doesn't look like you're building an attack because most people build the attack on the transition. So then when you like all of a sudden trigger this, it catches people off guard. And you even a lot of times will have a form that you can build off of even after you send it. So like here you could make a chain out of this pretty easily. And there's no specific shape for it. It's just you build something that um, on the tail that has 3 Puyo connected, and reaches column 4, and then you make shapes that will connect when column 4 falls down, so like this. So another way you could do it is like this, where it's like, it's a bit of a different tail shape, but it has the same idea and has the same benefits where it's like you can build a lot over here while waiting. And then if you ever see the opportunity, you just send the attack. But if you don't see the opportunity, you just build a normal chain and you can like build it. And then again, you'll have to rely on getting the right colors for the tail. But if you get the right colors, you can build a really efficient chain. So like if you do this, obviously that's the ideal scenario, but you don't always get the colors to like build it correctly. Like sometimes you won't get the greens to make this link. And then one of the problems is that it's very easy to have something fall down and make extra pops. So like here the greens are going to fall down and make a third link. And then that gives the opponent a lot more time to build a counter or send their main chain. So it's like, it's really tough because you have to be able to watch like a green here is going to fall down and add an extra link. So you have to be able to like see those so that you don't accidentally make 3 or longer chains when you only want a 2 chain. And here's another way you could do it. So here's the attack, and then here's the regular chain. And then sometimes you can chain kind of like this, like, let's see. Yeah, like you can change, you can do a trigger like down here and do your chain this way. This isn't the best example for that, but it's an example of it. So it's like if you're flexible enough, you can convert it into a main chain pretty easily, but it's hard to do at full speed when you're not, like, it takes a lot of practice, but I think this way of attacking has a lot of potential. So I don't think I have that much more to say about it, but it's just like you can build so much power in your attacks. It's like ridiculous. Like I was saying, a lot of times you can still keep a main chain open too. Like, but, oh, and then I don't think submarine is the best transition for this idea. Like, I think even GTR is better, but I didn't want to learn a new transition. So, but I think you can learn a better transition that works with this idea. Submarine isn't very good with this idea because the there's so many connected links that are exposed. So, for example, here you can't put a green here and you can't put a red here, or it'll be longer than a 2 chain because of how the exposed links are. how they're all connected groups of three. And you can't put a red here because it'll connect down. So there's a lot of places or a lot of ways to accidentally make bigger than a 2 chain. But I think if you did a different transition type, like if you did GTR even, I think that would be more stable. Like now you don't have a problem with things falling down in this column. So I think even GTR would work better because it's like so there's no colors that will by themselves cause an extra link to pop in column 3. You always have the one in column 1, but that one's easier to play around. Like if you block it off with a different color, then you can just put whatever on top. And so there's no risk of like unless you have a group of 3 up here, there's no risk of popping too much, or less risk I should say. But I think it's a really cool way to attack.